Hey everyone, today we're going to pit two projectors against each other, the Anker Nebula Laser 4K against the Xgimi Horizon Pro 4K to see who wins and which one you should buy yourself. First things first, the topics we want to cover are image quality, features, sound quality, portability, I/O, and price. So let's dive into image quality first. Anker sports an industry premium 2200 lumen laser technology, whereas the Xgimi has a more standard 1500 lumen LED tech, and the difference is noticeable but not deal-breaking. Without question, the Anker is brighter and a little bit sharper, but it's not so mind-blowing that you should write off the Xgimi just yet. They both have a very crisp 4K image, and in a dark room or outside from late afternoon to evening, you'd have no problems with image quality on either device, but the Anker does win for image overall. Both sport Android TV, can stream for mobile devices including iPhone, have HDR10 support and auto keystone correction. But while the Xgimi boots significantly faster, we're talking about 6 seconds versus almost a minute, the Anker does autofocus and keystone correct a little bit quicker. That said, auto keystone correction, which adjusts the image based on angle and obstacles, is one of those things where once you have it, you'll never want to be without it. We're going to go ahead and call this one equal, considering they share very similar features and both are very capable, excellent devices. In terms of sound quality, it's kind of interesting. The Anker has 4 speakers built in. It has 2 tweeters and then 2 regular speakers, whereas the Xgimi only has 2 speakers built in. So of course the Anker is supposed to have more audio power. However, I found that depending on what you're watching, listening to, whatever, both are again also fairly on equal ground. Sometimes the Anker sounded better, sometimes the Xgimi sounded better. There didn't seem to be a rhyme or reason whether it was high, mids, or lows as to which produced a better sound quality. Suffice to say that both of them produce a very nice volume as well as clarity, and if you're watching this like a movie outside with a bunch of friends, you're not going to need a set of extra speakers to attach to them. They will both get pretty loud and get the job done. Portability, of course, is slightly on equal footing as well. For example, the Nebula is a little bit taller as well as a little bit wider. However, the Xgimi, of course, is a little bit squattier and doesn't have a handle. While the Nebula is a little bit heavier and slightly bigger overall, I think they're both kind of equal, but I do sort of wish the Xgimi added a handle kind of like the Nebula did. There is one note of portability here, whereas the Anker, the plug from the wall, just goes directly into the back of the unit. The Xgimi does have a power supply on the floor, which is something extra that you have to lug around, and of course might be inconvenient to place. As far as controlling the projectors are concerned, you do of course have 2 remote controls, but you also have built-in controls directly on the unit. The Xgimi has these sort of like, they're not quite physical buttons, but they're sort of raised up, which makes them easier to hit. Whereas of course the Anker, if you sort of press the control panel here, this will sort of light up and allow you to navigate directly on the projector. However, I did find that the navigation on this particular unit is not that sensitive and often got a little bit frustrating when trying to navigate and use the control panel built in on the Anker. The remote design on the Xgimi is a little bit nicer as it's stainless steel and metal, whereas the Anker is plastic. However, it does have these shortcut buttons here on the Nebula remote, which is kind of nice, I suppose, but I like this remote better. Input and output, of course, is a no-brainer. The Xgimi wins by a landslide. Not only do you have 2 USB ports, you also have 2 HDMIs. Of course, one of them is ARC compatible as well, which means you can attach a soundbar to it. You've got an Ethernet jack, another audio jack, and an optical jack, which is really great. Whereas on the Anker, all you have is 1 HDMI, 1 USB, and then like 1 audio jack. So the Xgimi wins by a lot. But now, of course, for the critical moment, how much do they cost and which one should you buy? Well, the Anker is about $2,000, whereas the Xgimi is about $1,200, depending on where you get them and if you can get them on sale. That is a pretty big difference. And honestly, I do not think that the Anker is worth $800 more than the Xgimi. While the LED versus laser technology is kind of nice and the image quality on the Anker is superior, I did find that the feature set and the sound quality being roughly on equal playing fields, that if you need a projector both for outside or inside use, I kind of feel like the Xgimi wins. Both of these projectors are great quality and would be an awesome addition to a house in substitute of a TV, or perhaps more practically as an outside unit used to watch movies with friends and family. Honestly, you can't go wrong with either option. They're both fantastic, both are loaded with features, but ultimately I'm going to stick with the Xgimi. Anyway, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us in the comment section, but please like and subscribe, and we will be back with another video really soon.